bless you. Oh, bless you. That was silly, wasn't it? What is up today, guys? I have an awesome cousin. You've seen him in past videos. I've made art for him before, Jesse. And recently, over the past few years, he has evolved himself. New job, taking better care of himself, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So today, I'm gonna be trying to make something as awesome as he is. I'm gonna be taking his favorite things, turning them into Pokemon, and then I'm gonna take him and turn him into a Pokemon trainer. Let's do it. So we're going to start off with a character named Mayor McNoob. Now, you may not have heard of this character. That's because this is an original character. In 2015, I went around to all of my family members asking them questions about what kind of comic book character they'd like to be, right? So I was like, for starters, hero or villain? And then you tell me your name, your color scheme, what powers you have, what equipment you have maybe. And Jesse told me he wants to be a supervillain named Mayor McNoob, and his catchphrase was, cheat the system, because the system cheats us. He has no powers, but he's got a bunch of gadgets. So, Mayor McNoob is the first character we're going to be turning into a Pokemon. Starting off, I started with this like rounded, kind of basic Pokemon shape. I'm thinking it looks a little bit like Squirtle. But I gave him a top hat and a beard right away, and instantly I'm getting like Abraham Lincoln vibes. Kept on playing with it, but it's not one I really ended up liking, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Next, I started out with the top hat, and I kept that as the head because the hat is like an important feature to this Mayor McNoob character. But playing around with it a little bit more, it still just looked a little not right. I don't really have the right words for it, but it just wasn't doing it for me. I even tried adding in some like coat tails for his actual tail, adding in some like lines to represent the sides of the jacket, but it still just wasn't working for me. Now the next character, I started out with the head shape that follows the face shape of Mayor McNoob minus the beard. So it's almost looking like a skull shape, and it's one I'm really digging. Then I was like, oh wait, I've got to stick with the Pokemon aspect and maybe keep things a bit more simplified. So I'm just gonna go with like a spiky kind of beard shape, add in the top hat still. And I'm gonna give him like a small body, but make it proportioned to make him look nice and strong, because Mayor McNoob is a strong character. So then I gave him some basic like a tummy color plus his little suit jacket side lightning looking things. Add some buttons here and there, and I actually like this design, so it's one I'm going to play with more moving forward. But yeah, I'm going to move forward with it. Alright, so that's the only original character on this list. Now the next thing that he absolutely loves is Call of Duty. So I'm going to go ahead and try to come up with a Pokemon that would resemble a war game, if you will. And instantly my mind went right to a gun. Looked up some guns, and I found this one. I like the shape of it. It has a nice silhouette, and I duplicated it and stuck them together. And then I just started kind of fiddling around with it, adding in some eyes, some tentacles, adding in some more rounds up top, I think that's the right word, to make it look almost like a crown, if you will. And I really am digging this design. It's like, I don't even know, some robot gun squid creature that flies. I am absolutely in love with it. I started out trying to come up with another design, but I was like, this is a winner design right here. So I'm just gonna move forward with that. That's my Call of Duty gun Pokemon. It's probably a steel type. I think Mayor McNoob would be, I don't know, maybe a psychic or something like that. He does a lot of mind games. I don't really know much about Pokemon if you can't figure that part out. All right, next up is a real classic on anyone's favorite kind of list, Joker. Not specifically Heath Ledger Joker, but he's one that I know Jesse likes, but I think he likes the Joker just in general. So here's my thought process behind it all. I'm gonna go with like a Meowth kind of vibe, because Meowth has that weird charm thing on his forehead. See, like I said, I know a little bit about Pokemon, but I don't know much beyond the absolute basics. So I know Meowth has that thing up top, and I figured maybe that can be like a Joker card, and that's just something I'm gonna play around with a little bit. I'm gonna give him this weird kind of lanky body, but also still has a little bit of a build. Now my design elements, I figured Joker likes stabbing things. He likes the knife, right? So one arm can be like a big old knife, and the other arm can be holding a pencil, because that's something Heath Ledger Joker establishes himself with. You know, the magic trick, pencil right through the head. And then of course the shoes have to have little knives coming out of them. Classic Joker move. And overall with like the neck design, I figured that can be symbolic of like a tie, kinda. And then maybe add in some elements of maybe a vest in there. So I played around with another shape of a head and a body, but I'm really liking this really wide head, Hey Arnold head, if you will. It just really amplifies that mouth size, and you know, we all think about the red scarred up mouth of the Joker, which I really like that design of. So we're gonna move forward with that. And my best guess is that Joker would be a fire type because he just wants to watch the world burn. Maybe a fire poison hybrid. Alrighty, next category is Yu-Gi-Oh! This is another one just like Pokemon where I know near nothing, but except Yu-Gi-Oh! I know even less than I do about Pokemon. So I'm gonna go off this character here. I don't even know his name. So sorry about that, guys. But I like his design. I like the sharpness of everything here. So I'm playing around with some designs. I initially was like, oh man, maybe like a quadruped, you know, something on 4 legs, just kind of change it up a little bit. But I just wasn't feeling that design. So I started off with the most like recognizable feature to me anyway, which is the hair. And then I kind of built my face off of that. So I know that's a design element I want to move forward with probably, you know, maybe just not with this sketch. Now I did remember that there used to be these things, or maybe there still are these things, but there used to be these like card holder, they look like giant blades that you would stick on your arm at maybe a dealer or something like that, a card holder dealer thing. And I don't know if Jesse ever had one, but I remember seeing these in store. So I was like, that is a really cool feature that can easily be turned into some like giant arm blades. So that's what I'm definitely gonna roll with. And I thought maybe the whole character can be made out of cards, or at least leave a trail of cards. So that's something we're definitely gonna play with moving forward as well. Now, I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I would guess this is just a standard like fighting type Pokemon, because I think those things on his arms are like, you know, card dealers, they're dueling. So I'm gonna guess it'd be like a fighting type. Maybe a fighting steel because he's got the big blades. I'm guessing, I don't know. All right, this last thing I'm turning into a character is not from a property. It's not a character itself, but it is Mustard. Now, there is a story behind this. In every family photo that we've taken in the past couple years, Jesse always holds up a container, a bottle of mustard. It's something Jesse and I started years ago, and then he's chosen mustard as his condiment of choice. And honestly, this is the first Pokemon I thought of in my head. I was like, oh man, a mustard Pokemon, that would be great. But I knew I had to have a team, so I had to do Yu-Gi-Oh, Joker, Call of Duty, and Mayor McNoob. But this is the one I was most excited about. So I pictured this silly concept being a massively powerful mustard monster. He really is just a bottle of mustard that's got caps on his hands, feet, and his whole head's a cap. He's got the crusty mustard on the spout, and he is a beast ready to destroy. So this was one that I was very excited about, even just sketching down, and I can't wait to draw. And I'm gonna assume this mustard Pokemon is probably a straight up fighting. I guess there could be a little bit of elements of like poison, if you will, a fighting poison, if he were to release his mustard gas. Ooh, mustard gas, there's an interesting idea. So maybe he is a fighting poison. So I'm gonna go and extend my canvas here and play around with the idea of Pokeballs. So you do have your classic, you know, your red and your white, but then I was like, well, there are other designs, so maybe there's something I can play with. I tried, you know, just a J for Jesse on a Pokeball. I tried a hat on a Pokeball. Then I was like, well, what if I made a specific Pokeball that can only catch these brand new Pokemon? So I know that there's like the Ultra Ball or something like that. I know that there are variations of Pokeballs that have different abilities And I was like, well, maybe I can create different Pokeballs that can only capture these Pokemon. So I'll make it very specific to them. So we've got like a Joker ball, a Mustard ball, Yu-Gi-Oh ball, a Mayor McNoob ball, and just some things like that I was kind of playing around with. And then moving on to Jesse. Now I'm trying to draw him in the classic anime Pokemon style, which is one that I'm not very familiar with. I hardly ever touch, but it's certainly one that I'm willing to play around with just so I can get Jesse in the right style, have him fit this aesthetic of Pokemon, and make it all cool like. And I figured Charizard is his favorite shining Charizard anyway, but I'm gonna put like a silhouette of Charizard on his sweatshirt just to make it even cooler. And maybe he'll have some Pokeballs attached to his backpack or something. Just something cool like that. Yeah, so the sketches and planning is done. Now it's time to move on to the actual paper and markers and get this thing rolling. Let's do it. So there it is, guys. I could not be more thrilled with how this thing turned out. And I just know he's absolutely gonna love it. But yeah, I did the whole layered effect thing that I did with Eddie up here, and I just think it's the absolute coolest thing. So if you guys have any names for these types of Pokemon, let me know down in the comments below, because I don't really know all too much about Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or Call of Duty. Pretty much I know Mayor McNoob and I know Mustard. But yeah, if you guys have some name ideas for these characters, let me know. Comments down below. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. So if you guys would please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.